I couldn't have picked a better way to end my fall semester. What up, y'all? It's the Black Critic Guy, and I just got back from a special screening of my favorite movie of all time, Pulp Fiction. And as you can tell, man, I'm so glad I got the chance to see it on a big screen with the crowd. It was euphoric. It was amazing, and the movie still holds up, and it made me laugh even more, and it just reminded me how much I miss it. So if you don't know the story of Pulp Fiction already, it basically follows three main stories. The first one dealing with two gangsters who get thrown into a really bad situation that they need to get out of. The second story follows one of the two gangsters from the first story going out on a date, sorta, with his boss's wife, and the second story follows this boxer who gets also thrown into a very bad situation and he needs to get out of it, and that's basically the story of Pulp Fiction. Now, there are many factors attributed to what makes Pulp Fiction one of the quintessential greatest movies of all time, but the main one, the reason that it really stands out from any movie that came before and after it, is its dialogue scenes. They are the reason that your eyes are glued to the screen. They are more interesting than any other facet of this movie. Like, you are interested in what these characters have to say, and you find that weird because, you know, there are a lot of good action scenes. There are a lot of good, like, you know, camera shots, like different musical numbers and stuff, but the one thing that really pulls you in is the conversation and dialogue between characters. That's the reason I really love this movie. I could have been like, you know, oh, it's not enough action, or, you know, there's not a lot of cool chase scenes or something like that, but the dialogue scenes, they kept me engaged. I just wanted to hear what these characters had to say. It was interesting to me. And coming off of the interesting writing and dialogue, you have so many memorable scenes because of that. You got Jules's interrogation, you got the dance-off, you got the rape scene, you got the standoff, you got the restaurant scene. So many memorable moments in this film. Naming them all would just take too many time, and that'd be kind of like a spoiler for those of you who haven't seen Pulp Fiction. And if you haven't seen Pulp Fiction, for the love of God, go see it right now. Now let's talk about the direction and attention to detail. One thing that really escaped me when I first saw this movie, the couple 50 times that I own the DVD, is how much attention to detail this movie is. There are a lot of inside jokes, there are a lot of foreshadowing, there's a lot of references, and actually the scene where they actually go to the diner, since now I know like more films and I know more references, seeing that scene once again, I can now pinpoint different references that really inspired Quentin Tarantino as a filmmaker. I mean, these are the films and these are the people that he grew up with that, you know, inspired him to become what he is. And the direction is fantastic. This is still, without a doubt, Quentin Tarantino's best directorial work thus far. And just the way he positioned his camera, the use of mirrors in his shots, they were all just fantastic. And another factor that attributed to the greatness that is Pulp Fiction is the musical choices. Not only is the dialogue and writing superb, not only are the characters memorable, but the musical choices are as memorable as any of the dialogue scene and any of the acting. You remember long after the movie's gone what song was playing in this scene, what song you really liked, how a song really correlated to like the scene, especially the end scene of the movie. I gotta say, I just got a feeling of, I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but it reminded me like of old western, of like cowboys leaving a scene all badass like. It really reminded me of that because the music just complemented the scene in that sense, and it gave me that cowboy feeling of these two guys walking away as badasses, and the music, like I said, complements it greatly. And last but sorely not least, the acting is superb across the board. All of these actors brought their A game to this movie. You got Javier Keitel playing the really calm, really chill, and really precise Winston Wolfe. You got Tim Roth and Amanda Plummer playing these robbers who rob a restaurant. You got Uma Thurman playing the really sexy, very voluptuous Mia Wallace. You got Ving Rhames playing the mob boss Marcellus Wallace, who has a presence about him. You see Bruce Willis playing a boxer who can kick your ass at any time if he wanted to. You got John Travolta playing, you know, he came from Europe, he came back after a long time, he came back, he's the smooth gangster guy, he's a man of few words, but when he does something, he does it fantastically. And then you got the scene stealer, the greatest character in this movie, and probably the best actor in this movie, Samuel L. fucking Jackson. This was the movie that made him a star, and this is honestly his greatest performance. Yes, he's done a lot of other memorable performances and he has done a few other great performances, but this is the role that if Samuel L. Jackson were to die tomorrow, and let's hope he doesn't because he's still awesome, if he were to die tomorrow, everyone would still remember him as Jules fucking Wingfield. His scene, he just owned, like he owned every scene that he was in. He was the dominating force. He stood above everybody else. He had such a commanding force when he entered a room. And he's just the most memorable character when you leave this film. The last character you're ever gonna think about, or even the first character you think about when you leave, is gonna be Jules fucking Wingfield. He is just fantastic. So overall, I already said enough to tell you guys what I really think about this movie. I think, in my honest opinion, if anybody ever asked me like, yo Tony, what's your favorite movie? Hey, what's the greatest movie of all time? I'll state this right here, right now. The greatest movie of all time, in my opinion, is Pulp Fiction. It is without a doubt the greatest movie of all time. And I was watching it today, and I was thinking like, man, I haven't seen that movie in a while. I would love to go see it in theaters because I remember how great it was. I really loved it. And then I went to the theater. I watched it. I got out of the theater, and I asked myself, why don't I watch this movie all the time? Just everything about this movie is excellent. Every scene, the dialogue, the memorable scene, the acting, the direction, the musical score, the writing, everything is solid. Like I said, greatest movie of all time. I cannot emphasize that enough. You know what this is getting. A 5 out of 5 stars. It is the quintessential definition of an epic masterpiece. And for the love of God, if you have not seen Pulp Fiction, get off the internet, go to like some DVD store, go to a movie stop or something, buy the DVD, sit your ass down for 2 hours and 40 minutes, and please watch Pulp Fiction. You will not regret it at all, I promise. But anyway, what did you guys think of this movie? And yes, I will be fair, if you guys don't like this movie, I will understand. You know, some people might feel like it's a little slow, or it doesn't, live up to expectation, or it's overrated. I will understand that. So let me know what you guys think of this film. Did you really love it like I did, or did you just think, like I said, it's just boring, it's an art house film, who cares? And let me know not only what is your favorite Quentin Tarantino film, but what is your favorite moment or favorite quote in Pulp Fiction? Who's your favorite character in Pulp Fiction? Comment below, let me know. And I cannot wait to see Django Unchained. After watching this, I have only the utmost positivity to go see Django Unchained. I cannot wait. But anyway, I'm the Black Critic Guy, bridging the gap between movies and anime reviews. Till then, peace, YouTube.